That is definitely happening. Chicago Fire showrunner teases a lot of turnover for Firehouse 51 in Season 14. The CFD is looking at some major changes in Chicago Fire Season 14. A department-wide initiative aims to reduce costs, which may result in the permanent removal of certain programs, items, and workers. Chicago Fire showrunner Andrea Newman told TV Line that layoffs and cuts in their show are inspired by what's happening in our world. It's very real to the CFD, she said. The show did not introduce an auditor to craft an out for their departing characters. It wasn't even done intentionally for that, but because it's so in the zeitgeist, people coming in and gutting departments and gutting places, it's very real to the CFD. They've done that too, the showrunner said. And so that is definitely happening next season, she continued, then added. Newman's comments don't bode well for many characters. Everyone is on the chopping block. You never know who might get fired. There will be hellos, and there will be goodbyes. I'll say that. That's for sure, Newman said. Next season is going to be about how this asterisk really hits the fan once that mandate comes down, and how things get shaken up, and how our team can hold together as a family while all this craziness is happening around them, she previously told TV Insider. Although no one is safe in this shakeup, some characters are at disadvantage, and those are usually the first to go. Ritter, Daniel Kire, and Carver, Jake Lockett, will have reduced roles in the upcoming season, which could lead to their departures. Meanwhile, Mouch, Christian Stolt, and Herman, David Agenberg, are no longer as young as they used to be, and soon they may be facing mandatory retirement from the CFD. Even the department's top brass might not be safe. Due to Herman's decision to stop pursuing the chief position, Pascal, Dermot Mulroney will stay as battalion chief until the CFD axe starts lurking above his head. Who knows if that will happen, the showrunner said, teasing some bad news for him too. Who will survive this upcoming bloodbath? How will numerous departures and arrivals affect the tight-knit Firehouse? The flames at Firehouse 51 are always burning hot, but according to Chicago Fire showrunner Andrea Newman, Season 14 is about to turn up the heat in a way fans never expected. With her recent teaser of a lot of turnover in the upcoming season, longtime viewers are bracing themselves for seismic shifts, emotional upheaval, and possibly some tearful goodbyes. But this isn't just another shakeup. It's a full-on blaze that threatens to change the DNA of Firehouse 51 forever. A house built on change. Since its premiere, Chicago Fire has never been afraid to let go of beloved characters. From Shay's tragic end to Casey's bittersweet departure, the series has always leaned into the reality of Firehouse life. People come and go. But this time, according to Newman, the winds of change are stronger, more sweeping, and deeply personal. What's coming in Season 14, she hinted in a recent interview, is not just new faces. It's a reimagining of what Firehouse 51 looks like, feels like, and fights for. As speculation swirls, fans are left wondering, who's staying, who's leaving, and what does a lot of turnover really mean? The emotional fallout. Bowden sits at his desk longer these days. The Firehouse chief, always a mountain of quiet strength, has begun to notice the tremors. Seasoned veterans talking in hushed tones, rookies whispering about transfers, even Ritter pulling away from his usual playful camaraderie with Gallo. Bowden knows change is coming. He's seen it before, but this time feels different. This isn't just the usual promotions and retirements. This is an emotional migration. One morning, he finds a resignation letter on his desk. It's short and heartfelt, signed by someone who's been a core part of the team for years. Maybe it's Cruz. Maybe even Herman. The reality is that nobody's safe from the emotional gut punch that Newman has promised. Gallo's crossroads. For Blake Gallo, turnover means a personal reckoning. He's grown from a brash kid into a dependable firefighter. But with leadership opportunities on the table, he's torn. Does he stay in a house that's transforming in front of his eyes? Or does he follow the whisper of ambition to a different firehouse? Or maybe a different city? Rumors suggest he might not be the only one considering a move. Violet McCamey, still grieving and navigating the aftermath of Hawkins' death, might also seek a new beginning. Fresh starts, Newman cryptically said, don't always look like what you expect. Sometimes they mean leaving everything familiar behind. New blood, new energy. Season 14 won't just be about departures. Newman confirmed new characters are on the horizon. Fresh faces with bold stories, new dynamics, and maybe even new rivalries. Could a female captain from another district bring tension or romance? Will a new paramedic challenge Violet's leadership or push her into mentoring mode? What about a legacy hire, perhaps a recruit whose parent once worked at Firehouse 51? That kind of callback would hit fans right in the heart and create instant drama, especially if they arrive with a chip on their shoulder or something to prove. Casey and Brett, the wild card. Matt Casey's return in Season 12 reignited more than just old sparks. It shook up the foundation of Brett's world. Now, with Brett having made a life-changing decision about adoption and Casey trying to reconcile life in Portland with his Chicago roots, there's a new uncertainty. Does Casey come back permanently? Does Brett go west? Or do they finally realize that the only way forward is together, but somewhere new? If either of them departs, it would mark a major change in Firehouse 51's heart. And if they stay, it might mean other lone-timers feel it's their time to move on. Severide's wildcard energy. Kelly Severide is no stranger to upheaval. After his spontaneous arson investigation detour last season, he's returned, but not quite the same. His passion is still there, but there's a restlessness, a ticking clock behind those eyes. Fans have noticed. So has Stella. Could his arc this season involve stepping back, starting a new squad, or possibly mentoring a replacement, someone young and fiery who reminds him too much of himself? Turnover might mean Severide choosing evolution over burnout, even if it hurts. Stella Kidd, holding the line. With so much turnover around her, Stella Kidd is expected to become a central stabilizing force this season. But that pressure may be too much even for her. She's always been a fighter, a mentor, and a fierce leader. But what happens when she feels like she's fighting alone? In one leaked scene description from the writer's room, Kidd walks through a near-empty lounge, the walls covered in familiar photos and mementos, her fingers trailing over the memories. "This place used to sound like home," she murmurs. "Now it's starting to echo." That's the heartbreak of turnover. It doesn't just change the people, it alters the soul of the place. More than just a firehouse. Fans may see new storylines unfold in unexpected places. Mental health for first responders, long overdue promotions, even the arrival of a community-focused liaison who tries to bridge the gap between the house and the neighborhoods they serve. All of these are meant to reflect what Newman calls the evolving purpose of Firehouse 51. "We're not just telling firefighter stories anymore," she said. "We're telling human stories. And this kind of turnover, it's deeply human." One last call. Some believe Season 14 could serve as a reset or a farewell tour for multiple veterans. Whether that's by design or not, the tone has shifted. This isn't just another season of daring rescues and steamy locker room moments. It's a reckoning, a chance to explore what it means to serve, to grow, and to move on. Whatever happens, Newman's promise that a lot of turnover is definitely happening means Firehouse 51 is at a crossroads, and we're all along for the ride. So buckle in, Chicago Fire fans. The alarms are sounding, the engines are revving, and when the smoke clears, Firehouse 51 may never look the same again.